going in, we all gonna have our favorites and the way we think, but we never know until we see. Because like you say, if Canelo come out that thing hungry, it'll be a tough night.
Listen, Terence Crawford is too good for it to not be competitive for as long as it lasts, right? I just think Canelo is gonna knock him out. I think he's gonna stop him.
The hype around this fight is Canelo's fading because he's getting decisions while he's basically dropping everyone he fights. So I don't see where you're fading at, but Floyd got praised for getting decisions.
The bout between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez was chosen by experts as one that might go horribly wrong. In an interview with Andre Ward, Roy Jones Jr. described the bout as a real 50-50 matchup because each fighter is excellent on their own. Jones acknowledged, however, that he leans more toward Canelo, stating everyone naturally has a favorite. He clarified that Crawford will have a very difficult night if Canelo enters the ring with the same fervor he did early in his career.
First hear about it, Dre, I like a lot of things about the fight. I like that Bud took his time when it beefed up early because he knew it was coming. So when you got time to get ready and get right, that's a big thing. You can't take nothing away from Canelo. Canelo has been there for a while. Great puncher, great boxer puncher. If Bud can take the punch, which we're pretty sure he can do, we're gonna have a good fight on our hands. I think there are several ways for Bud to win it, but one way for Canelo to lose it. I ain't gonna disclose none of that, but that's just my thoughts.
We'll do that as we get closer.
Exactly.
Yeah. But do you feel comfortable saying who you think the winner gonna be?
No, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna feel comfortable saying it because I like both guys. And when you got two guys of their caliber, you can't really count either guy out. You know that yourself.
That's a fact.
Bud is a champion. That says a lot. And on top of that, Bud is still hungry. You understand me? Canelo did his thing too, but I don't know if he got that hunger still left in him. You understand me? And that's what I think, that's the only thing that bothers me. If he's still hungry, then we in for a good night. But if he's not hungry, it's gonna be rough.
Yeah, I agree, man. I know it's gonna be a great fight, and it's not a lot of matchups in boxing that you can guarantee a great night. Like you can guarantee it's gonna be a great fight.
Without a question.
And I say that because just following both guys throughout the years, they both got the intangibles, the stuff you can't see unless you know what you're looking at. The stuff, it ain't an X and O thing. It's here, right? Like it's that stubbornness for greatness. Like Canelo, though he's had some mishaps, he's had some draws, he's had some losses. I feel like if you ask Canelo what happened there, he's got a perfectly good reason why that happened.
Exactly, that's everybody in boxing.
Right.
Boxing analyst shared his thoughts on the matchup by stressing that age and proven dominance favor Canelo Alvarez. He explained that while Terence Crawford is an exceptional fighter with unmatched skills, he is still 3 years older than Canelo, and that difference matters when competing at the highest level. According to him, Canelo has already cemented himself as one of the greatest undisputed champions in the history of the sport, and his accomplishments prove why so many analysts back him. For showbiz, the safest choice is to side with Canelo, since his experience, power, and championship pedigree consistently set him apart from challengers
That people have for Terence Bud Crawford. But for me, a 38, you guys know my takes, but a 38-year-old welterweight versus Saul Canelo Alvarez, undisputed super middleweight, who is 3 years younger than him. Listen, Terence Bud Crawford is too good for it to not be competitive for as long as it lasts, right? I just think Canelo is gonna knock him out. I think he's gonna stop him. I mean, he probably not knock him out cold, but I think he's going to stop him. All right. Now, but what I can say is I saw Terence Crawford, his last workout shit, and for all of you guys who said that this photo was photoshopped and said that this wasn't real and all that shit, look at Terence Crawford's physique. Look, certain stuff you can't fake. Yeah, you could probably up the sharpness here, have certain lighting here, but it doesn't give you more muscles. If you're in shape, you're in shape. It doesn't add muscles that aren't there, like real Photoshop type of thing. Yeah, the lighting was good. He just got a pump out, right, a workout on, pause. But still, this is how he looks. right here. Just like you see him in natural light, you see him in black and white. The guy is in dog shape. All right. Another thing I liked about this episode, if you guys got to go to Terence Bud Crawford's channel to see his episodes of him being prepared. I think this is the last one because right now it's fight week. It is fight week, everybody. No turning back now. All right. What, you got the media workout tomorrow? You got the press conference. I think, when was that?
Several experts on the Portaway podcast liken Floyd Mayweather's Money Canelo era to Canelo Alvarez's present stage. They maintain that Canelo has advanced to a point where his very existence rules the sport and is no longer merely vying for titles. According to some detractors, Canelo is deteriorating. The panel, however, question how that could be the case given that he consistently defeats opponents of all backgrounds and styles. They hailed his reign as the greatest uncontested champion of modern times and referred to him as the greatest Mexican boxer. They contend that the story of decline is more about people not giving Canelo the recognition he so richly merits.
The point where Floyd was at, where I remember covering Floyd for the Maidana fight, and my question to him live was, did you really pay $1.5 million for Maidana not to wear these horsehair gloves? And it's like, I don't have to tell you. And that's it. I'm Floyd. I told you I don't have to tell you, and he walks away. It's like, boxing is so different.
Look at this and Floyd's the best fighter of my lifetime. I was a little too young to watch Roy in the early '90s. That would have been a challenge to that claim, but it's I've been saying, like, just as important as his great career has been what he's left behind, and what he's left behind, it isn't good. Look what it's producing. No, I think everybody agrees with that. Effect. Yeah, the Mayweather effect. So,
but there's a double standard because Canelo's in his what would you call it? Money Canelo era.
Yeah.
And to bring it back to the main subject of Crawford and Canelo, the hype around this fight is Canelo's fading because he's getting decisions while he's basically dropping everyone he fights. So I don't see where you're fading at, but Floyd got praised for getting decisions.
Yeah, but
you don't see a fade from Canelo?
That skull fight was rough.
I mean, but that was more. I don't think that was a fade. I don't think that was a fade more than it was self-entitlement, right? It's like, I'm Canelo. I'm not chasing you.
100%.
He didn't win the fight. Like, if we're forget CompuBox, because CompuBox is someone just like me with their Great Adventures clicker going just like this. So I can use my own television and my own eyes.
At Oladipo's decision to support Terence Crawford was his last concession. He noted that Crawford frequently starts bouts with razor-sharp accuracy and that he anticipates Canelo to have a solid opening round. Aide highlighted Crawford's ability to end battles cleanly, which was more significant. Crawford, who is regarded as one of the sport's top closers, frequently ends fights in a dominant manner in addition to winning. Aide has faith in Crawford because he thinks he can dominate the latter part of the bout and win by a landslide once he gets his flow.
Each other and saying some stupid shit. Casual fans like, oh, 1 second, what's going on? Like, is there something going on over there? And I feel like these two would do that. Plus, it's going to be a decent fight.
It will be a decent fight. Do you know who? You mentioned it there. Do you know who? Not disappointed in terms of how his career has been going. I think it's going quite well, but that he's not a bigger name as Boots Ennis.
Yeah,
that guy has the style, everything, the flair, everything to be a big star, and he's just not. And do you know what I think it is? I'm not having a go at Eddie Hearn. I think it's the matchmaking. I think he's fighting guys. Even now, go to 154. He needs those big fights. He needs those big fights because at the end of the day, David Avanesian, it's like, okay, he's a good fighter, but like, they're going to put butts in seats.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, there's only so long you can matchmake him against people that we don't care about.
Yes.
Like even Stanionis, unification fight, Stanionis was good, but okay, you beat Stanionis, it has to be a bigger name.
Yeah.
I mean, Virgil Ortiz has been screaming for you. Erickson Lubin's there, just as something exciting. Another American maybe. Sometimes you need that. Like the American fans won't relate to him fighting non-Americans that we don't even know.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't even know some of these guys that he's fighting, so that doesn't help. Anyway, look, we could go on and on and on and on, but this is Canelo Terence Crawford special.
It is.
Because we are filming this on Monday. So we're only, 5 days away.
See, I'm already smiling.
From what people
already
call
smiling thinking about
the
this
fight of the century.
The multi-division world champion Nonito Donaire provided a fair assessment of the bout. He accepted that Canelo Alvarez had fought several battles to win his spot and had spent years in his weight class. Dona Iyer emphasized that Crawford does not yet possess the same proven strength at these heavier divisions, and that Canelo's inherent strength at this size is indisputable. Dona Iyer is mostly concerned about Crawford's ability to handle the extra weight on fight night. Despite this worry, he believes that the fight is a true 50-50 match because of Crawford's exceptional skill set, which enables him to adjust and take even the most formidable opponents by surprise.
You know, Canelo's been in this weight for a very long time, and he's gained that body, that experience. He has the power. He has the accolades to show it all off too. And of course, with Terence, I believe is the more skillful fighter, but he's going up a lot of weight classes to get there. He's never fought in 160, so that's a question. Is that weight really gonna affect him or not? The moment he gets hit in the arm or anything like that, is he gonna think otherwise? You know, that's the question. But when it comes down to it, the way they are, Crawford is very skillful. He's very talented. He can box, he can brawl, he can do anything. But then Canelo also has that power to neutralize things. But he's always had problem with people who walks or runs around him or moves around him. So that's the question that I have to give it a 50-50 because I give Canelo the power, the leverage in this weight. But then I give the skills and the talent and the speed to Crawford. And that's why this is going to be a very, very, very interesting and entertaining.
When considering Canelo Alvarez's early boxing career, an analyst noted how unique his growth was in comparison to other boxers. Coaches saw early on in Canelo's training that he possessed a remarkable amount of natural power, well above average for someone his age. Canelo stood out in the gym even as a youngster because he seemed to have strength naturally, unlike many young boxers who develop it over years of conditioning according to the analyst. Strength became the cornerstone of his professional style rather than waning with time. Opponents have frequently commented on the force of his blows and the way he gradually wears down opponents during a fight during his career. Canelo's power continues to be one of his most dependable and potent weapons, even after years of title fights and innumerable stressful evenings in the spotlight. The analyst clarified that Canelo is a monster to contend with at the highest level due to his established edge. The threat is especially great for Terence Crawford, who has never had to deal with someone who possesses this mix of size, strength, and expertise. Many people think Canelo's punches could be the deciding factor if the fight heats up.
Even when Canelo was a young lad, a young Canelito, aka Cinnamon, growing up in Mexico, you hear Eddie Reynoso and Eddie Reynoso's father, who trained Canelo first, talk about how he was a big kid for his age. He was muscled up at 13, 14 when he started boxing in the gyms of Guadalajara. He was knocking out grown men by the age of 15, 16. And I know Terence Crawford was doing the same over in Omaha, Nebraska. My point is, Canelo has always carried some power, carried some strength, carried some devastation in his hands, and that's gone up with him. And I know that people have questioned that because who really carries that kind of power going up? But Canelo's been able to do it, and you know, people like Manny Pacquiao have been able to do it. Usually you go up, and when you go up in weight, your skill carries the bill, and Canelo has skill, and Manny Pacquiao had skill, but there's still that nasty, nasty power in his hands. And one of the things that we have seen is that Canelo, regardless if he's being outboxed maybe early in fights, or regardless if people have landed on him, look at the Caleb Plant fight, look at the Billy Joe Saunders fight, again, not saying they're the same talent level, but he has found the button at many points of those fights. Even if he's quote unquote being outboxed, he has found the button. The one place that maybe didn't work as well, or two places I would say, were obviously Floyd Mayweather, Dimitri Bivol, and the Triple G fight, because Triple G was just made out of iron just like Canelo is, right? But usually that power carries him through. So one of his strengths is when he downloads, when he does dissect, when he does find the opening, he's able to capitalize in a big way. And all that boxing you did rounds 1 to 6, it may have you up on the scorecards, but it leaves you vulnerable from round 7 to 12 because Canelo's hitting arms, and he's hitting shoulders, and he's hitting ribs, and those arms are getting heavier.
The altercation between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez has ramifications that go well beyond official records or title belts, according to another group of observers. They contended that the outcome might fundamentally alter how the sport perceives both men, especially Canelo, whose standing has traditionally been based on dominance and reliability. He has long been regarded as a face of boxing, respected for his versatility and almost unbeatable in his weight classes. But according to these observers, the story would be very different if Crawford were to defeat him. Canelo's aura of invincibility would be destroyed, hence his career would need to be re-evaluated rather than being viewed as an unbeatable force and accomplishments. However, the triumph would place Crawford in a unique historical category as a warrior who overcame what many said was unachievable.
And Usyk changed the way everyone sees Tyson Fury.
Yes.
In the same way, potentially, Terence Crawford could change the way we look at Canelo for the rest of his life. So, Joey, what do you make of that?
I think you're right there. I think it's kind of been proven, hasn't it? You look at Turkey Al-Sheikh and the Riyadh Season's efforts to get Gervonta Tank Davis on board at the start, to get him in some big fights, to get him in fights that the fans want to see, and he's not an all-out favourite in, and he's gone the route now of fighting Jake Paul. So you can see the fighters that are willing to put it all on the line and the fighters that potentially might not be. Now, one thing with Canelo that people would say is although he's been fighting the best at a very high level, he has been picking his fights. I'm not saying he's been picking fights that he's an all-out favourite in. Obviously, he picked to fight Bivol. He picked to fight Kovalev. There's so many of them, but he has been picking his fights. So he's now entering this sort of realm, which obviously with the William Skull fight, he already has, but kind of feel like it was a bit of a gimme. He's now entering this realm in Riyadh Season where even if he's to go and progress and win this fight, there's only going to be tough fights from now to the end of his career. And it's been a long career. He's been pro since he was 15 years old. So I think that when you look at the fight, I do feel like Terence Crawford is a little bit fresher.
Question on the big fight experience here. It's just another stadium fight for Canelo, right? He does this a lot. This is Crawford's biggest fight of his whole career, his first stadium fight. And it's definitely going to be a home crowd advantage for Canelo. That's not even up for debate, in my opinion. Wow. How will Crawford handle that mental pressure when he's been out of the ring, as usual, for a year, and Canelo was in the ring a lot more recently?
Callum Smith, who has sparred with Canelo Alvarez, gave a candid analysis of the impending matchup with Terence Crawford. He acknowledged that, after years of competing at the greatest level, Canelo is not quite the fighter he was in his heyday, pointing out little indications of decline. He pointed out, however, that Crawford seems to be coming into the battle at the height of his skill, with swift movement, quickness, and accuracy that make him a formidable foe. Smith emphasized that the matchup is so fascinating because of this disparity. Canelo, a seasoned fighter with unparalleled experience on the biggest stages, is on one side. He has proven himself capable of winning even against challenging styles. Crawford, the younger and faster man on the other side, appears to adjust with ease and punish errors with merciless efficiency. Despite his minor leaning in Canelo's direction, Smith left his prediction open-ended. He acknowledged that the way both men train and appear on fight night could determine how the fight turns out. For the time being, he cautiously supports the Mexican star because he respects Canelo's shown track record, giving Crawford space to surprise.
We'll become world champion again this year.
Yeah, and I can't not ask you about Canelo Crawford, former opponent of yourself, obviously. Yeah. What's your take on it this week?
It's a good fight, to be honest with you. I keep swapping and changing. Part of me sometimes thinks Canelo's not the fighter he was. He's still a very good fighter, but I do think he's on the slide a little bit, and maybe Crawford might be a little bit too fast and too slick, but I don't know, when I seen him head-to-head, I just think Canelo's naturally that little bit too big. And as good as Crawford is, he's had one fight at 154 and he's now skipping 160 and going to 168 against a solid super middleweight. So I don't know, I think size tells as the fight goes on. I think Crawford will have success early, but I think the natural size will play a part, and I'm going to go with Canelo, but I may change my mind in the next couple of days.
Yeah. The kind of one thing people are thinking about Crawford, he's been very inactive in the last 2-3 years. You're somebody who's kind of dealt with that quite well. You've been inactive but still pulled out performances. I'm thinking of the Boazzi fight, for instance. Just how much will that play a factor, do you think, in the fight?
It depends, because I've had long layoffs, I've come back and I perform well, and I've had other ones where I feel it's massively affecting my performances. I don't know, I think as a fighter, personally, I'm always just confident. If I was out the ring for 3 years and I had a terrible camp, I just believe I get it right on the night, and I think you're always confident in your own abilities, that when it matters, the chips are down, you'll perform no matter what, and it isn't always the case. So I don't know, I think ideally he would have liked to have been a bit more active, although it was his choice to sit and wait. I think when we spoke to him, weirdly enough, when I think it was in where was it we seen him?
That concludes a video for today. Keep an eye out